YouTube, Sloan Smith here with DreamNet Ministries. A couple things I want to tell you about. Have you ever sensed that you're kind of being watched? Have you ever seen something peripherally out of the side of your eyes and you've turned to look and it's not there? I'm flipping through some old sketches that I took a long time ago. And I'm looking through some of these things like this sketch right here that says, hey, there's a dark swirl and a light swirl at the foot of the bed right before I went to sleep. And the dark swirl and white swirl started swirling towards each other, and you could see little sparks, almost like the demonic fighting the angelic. Have you seen that? Have you had that? Have you had some of these other encounters that I remember seeing years ago in here where, you see something fly across, maybe the reflection of your TV, but your TV's turned off, and you catch just a glimpse of it, and you look away, and it's not there. I also wanted to share just a couple things. These are things that people don't really talk about, and when they do talk about it, they're either dismissed or today's church kind of pushes it to the side. But there's a lot of spiritual things that go on because, Ephesians 6:12 tells us we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness, against spiritual wickedness in high places. We are spiritual beings living in a spiritual world. All right. One thing I was looking on here before, just like, again, I sketched some of these out, just visions I would see on a forehead, and of people knelt down praying, or angels having their hands tied and praying for release. All these things, they seem a little out of place, but if you read the Bible, things like this happen all the time. And what I've done, what I believe part of my purpose is here, and the giftings God's given, is biblical dream interpretation. All through the Bible, you can read about biblical dream interpretation, even to non-believers. All right, there's non-believers in the Bible that had, God-given dreams, and they served a purpose. So what we do at DreamNet Ministries is we help teach biblical dream interpretation. In the description below, I've given a link to an ebook that I put out a few years ago about biblical dream interpretation, how to start to look at that, examples of that. I'm a firm believer in, what John Paul Jackson did in his dream interpretation with Streams Ministries. I've went through all their training, and I went through a couple other trainings, and I've done over, I would say 1,000 to maybe 2,000 dreams over the last 15 years. And there's a lot to dream interpretation. It's not the Wild West. You can't just get out there and just start saying this and this, and God's telling you this and that. There's checks and balances in there. There's praying. There's hearing from the Spirit. But as the body of believers, we need to understand. We need to know what is biblical dream interpretation. How do I look at numbers, symbols, colors in my dreams? All right. So the ebook, the PDF, whatever you want to call it, you can pick that up, start to read that. And then eventually here at DreamNet, we'd like to go ahead and start doing live biblical dream interpretations. We'd like to go on live, get a group to come in. You could start to leave your dreams in the comments if you feel comfortable. If not, you can email them to us. And then we'd like to go ahead and do those interpretations live here. So in hopes that it would help you, and then in hopes it would help others understand what biblical dream interpretation looks like and why it's different than secular dream interpretation. All right. Go off, have a great week, and we'll see you later.